Hello there and welcome back to Non-Dairy Cards. Today we're going to continue opening this 1994 playoff Tech Chrome box here. So it's got Ricky Waters on the inside, Daryl Johnson on the outside here. And apologies in advance because I do take a long time with these ones, sleeving them up, but you can see we're getting some great players. We got Junior Seau, Howie Long, Reggie White, John Taylor, who's the original Big Dumper, and Brett Favre on just some of the cards that we pulled. Got a lot of great 49ers in the previous pack, so I know there was another box of these at the local card shop where I got them, so I might be going back to get another one. This is just a fun rip here, so I'm going to go ahead and open up pack number 1, and we'll get just right into it, see how we can do. So we've got Jason Elam, Andre Reed, another Hall of Famer, who's going to get the sleeve treatment here. Definitely a great card, and if you're watching any of my other videos, definitely don't have a sus autograph of his. We got Mark Stepnoski as a great lineman for the Cowboys. Dwayne Washington on the rookie card, so we'll sleeve that guy up. Get him in there. So there's supposed to be a rookie card in every pack, so I've just kind of been tossing those to the side. We've gotten a few interesting rookies: Aaron Glenn, Willie McGinnis, got William Floyd, Jason Sehorn, Santana Dotson here, Ernest Biner, great running back back in the day as well, and then Steve Atwater on the Pat Summerall's best. Looks like that one fell victim a little bit to the stickiness of these old cards, and then we got Chris Miller behind Steve Atwater. We'll go ahead and sleeve him up anyway. Another one of those just hard-hitting safeties. This guy was a menace in the 90s and late 80s, I want to say. He actually came out in the late 80s, so definitely a good player there for the Broncos. And those jerseys are still probably my favorite Broncos jerseys. Might not be everyone else's favorite Broncos jerseys, but I'm glad to see those. That's a nice throwback. Then we got the Michael Jackson. Probably not the Michael Jackson we're all thinking of. Rob Moore. Don Beebe. I'm going to sleeve him up just because of the... I've got a conflicted relationship with Don Beebe here. He had that amazing chase down against Leon Lett in the Super Bowl, one of the fastest guys in the league. But he also had some infamous moments against the 49ers when he was a member of the Packers. We got Bernard Williams here. And again, some of these with them sticking together, you don't get the best relationship or the best finish on those cards. So you can see there's a little bit of wear at the top of that card, but we'll sleeve it up, so hopefully it only sticks to the inside of the sleeves. Ernest Givens, if I recall correctly, this is another really good receiver. I'm going to sleeve him up because I feel like he led the league, had probably a surprising amount of yards here, but maybe I am wrong here, but we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Then we got Tony Casillas, and we've got the other half of the John and Keith Taylor group here. So, if you recall from last time, we had these checklist cards that seem to be just siblings in the NFL, so kind of fun cards. And then we've got Mark Collins on the best of the NFL 1994, so don't remember him too well, but I'm sure those Giants fans out there probably do, and he will get the sleeve treatment. All right, we'll get into pack number 3. Let's see how we do here. All right, that's a great start on the next pack. Probably one of the just most gifted quarterbacks out there of all time. You've got Dan Marino here. It's a shame he never won a Super Bowl, but I definitely don't want to give him the Super Bowl that he could have won there, because the Niners deserve that one. Anywho, we got Mel Gray for the Lions here. Behind Mel Gray, we've got Heath Shuler. If I recall correctly, he played for Florida and had a lot of hype coming out. I don't think he was a terrible quarterback, but he definitely wasn't a great quarterback in the NFL. And then we've got John L. Williams, who did not write the score for Star Wars, so it's not this guy. Although, I would be afraid of seeing John Williams back in the backfield lining up against me as well. You never know what that guy can bring, the duel of the fates or whatever. Dave Wyman for the Broncos. Mark Bavaro. I remember him more as a Giants tight end than an Eagle, so I wonder if he just barely played. Yeah, he was a Giant, barely played for the Eagles. And then we've got, Kadri and Rocket Ismail. So, again, another one of those checklist cards. And then we've got Ken Norton Jr. Here. So, he ended up on the 49ers this next year, so... I want to say he ended up in the 49ers for the Super Bowl year, but maybe I'm wrong there. But we will sleeve him up anyway. Go ahead and get into pack number 4, and we've got the broadcaster himself, Phil Simms. Get him sleeved up, and then we've got probably one of the best offensive linemen in NFL history here, and Will Shields, definitely a legendary Kansas City Chief. So we'll get him sleeved up as well. And we've got Jameer Miller. I don't recall this guy, so I'm going to say he probably didn't necessarily pan out in the NFL, but he's a rookie. He's going to get the sleeve treatment. Then we got Pierce Holt here for the Falcons. Alvin Harper, who infamously said he's the real number 80 when going against the 49ers. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave him over here in the base pile because that's what he deserves. That's probably the most famous thing he ever did. Chris Callaway here. And then another Reggie White on the Pat Summerall's Best of 94. And we'll go ahead and get him sleeved up here. Again, Minister of Defense, you can't go wrong with him. And Roosevelt Potts on the ground attack. So these are, again, pretty fun cards that we're finding here. A lot of throwbacks, especially that kind of if you know sort of scenario from the early to mid-90s. All right. We've got Ray Childress. Don't recall him too much. Brett Perriman. The Lions receiver I'm looking for is Herman Moore. I don't know if he was there around these times. I feel like he was. I want to say he won the receiving title as far as the number of catches. He went crazy in the 90s. We've got Thomas Randolph. And yes, I was correct, because the next card we see here is Herman Moore, and I'm going to go ahead and sleeve him up. Probably one of the all-time forgotten about or slept on receivers. He was amazing, and just put up incredible numbers of just how many catches he had. But he just played at a time with at the end of Jerry Rice's career, actually Jerry Rice's prime. You had Michael Irvin at the same time. Sterling Sharp was going crazy, so it's not surprising that he kind of faded away into the background, because you still had Andre Reed, you had Art Monk, and then Randy Moss pretty soon thereafter, Chris Carter, all of those receivers at the same time. We've got Gary Brown, and then we've got the Rocket Ismail here. So those checklists are just kind of interesting cards. I wonder what other brothers we're going to find in the checklist. So we'll sleeve up Gary Brown. 3 more packs for today. Get into this next one here. And is that Harbaugh? Yep, we got Jim Harbaugh. I have conflicted feelings on as a 49er, where his loyalty kind of screwed the team over. But, I'm going to sleeve him up because, he's still an interesting player, a guy who has a legacy. Had that legendary Colts playoff run in the late 90s, so definitely a guy worth Sleeving up Terry Kirby, remember him playing for the 49ers. Kevin Mitchell, not to be confused with the outfielder who had that famous barehanded catch, but also played in San Francisco. I don't even remember this guy, so I'm going to go ahead and say this guy probably didn't make a whole lot of noise. Then we got Herschel Walker. Again, if you hear Herschel Walker, you're thinking of basically creating the Cowboys dynasty. So thanks for that, dude. We'll go ahead and sleeve him up anyway. And then Rod Woodson, another fantastic Hall of Fame type player. I'm not sure if he's in the Hall of Fame, but he was amazing as well. And he played, I want to say 1 or 2 seasons for the 49ers as well. And we've got Bob Cratchit. So we'll go ahead and sleeve up Bob Cratchit here. And next, no, we don't have Tiny Tim. We have Andy Harmon, and then Glenn Milburn on the ground attack. So again, a lot of inserts. I would say we're probably sleeving up about half the cards here. And when you feel like the cards, at least from an insert perspective or from a Hall of Famer perspective or a rookie perspective, half of them are even questionably sleeve worthy. I feel like that's a good rip. And speaking of which, I'll just pull him forward. We have Mark Rippon, who, since we're ripping and we found Mark Rippon, I will go ahead and sleeve up Rippon from the rip. And I will stop saying that. Then we've got Alexander Wright. He's going to stick to the next guy, so hopefully not too... Oh, let's hope we didn't peel anything off of Sterling here. Sorry about that. We'll kind of pull down, but we got Sterling Sharp. I was just looking at that. Again, another guy who just injuries killed his career, but he was one of those guys that was hard not to root for. Even, going against the 49ers, that guy was incredible. And because of that, we're going to go ahead and give him a spot of honor here. And then Isaac Bruce on the rookies. That's a nice rookie card there. So I'm going to sleeve him up, and we're going to put him on the stand too. I will say, for this rip, in comparison to the last rip, we are very light on 49ers outside of that random Kevin Mitchell guy. We got Heath Sherman on the next card, and speak of the devil, and we're going to get the most random 49er. So actually, we get 2 in a row. So I guess I need to complain more often. We're getting no autographs here. That's ridiculous. We definitely need to get those autographs. We got Todd Kelly. I don't remember Todd Kelly too much, but I do remember Steve Bono. He was part of that Niners to Chiefs. He had a couple of great games. So yeah, Joe Montana, Steve Bono, Elvis Gerback. That was the Niners to Chiefs pipeline in the 90s. That was just kind of interesting here. So he'll get the sleeve treatment, and then we've got Howard Ballard on the Pat Summerall's Best of the NFL, and we will sleeve him up here as well. So now I will say the cards from the 49ers that we have not seen that are a little bit surprising for 94s. We're not seeing any Steve Young. We're not seeing any Jerry Rice. We haven't seen Merton Hanks, Dana Stubblefield, Bryant Young. Obviously Deion Sanders was out at this time. Not sure if he'd be on a card for the Niners here, but a few players. No Emmitt Smiths, no Barry Sanders. So hopefully we see those guys in this. But if not, we're definitely going back to grab another package of these, another box of these if it's still there. We got Carl Mecklenburg. Mario Bates. Go ahead and sleeve him up. Simon Fletcher. Randall Cunningham. That's a nice looking card too. Not going to complain about getting a Cunningham. He and Steve Young were the Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson before Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So those two guys are again electric players. Those jerseys are also probably the best Eagles jerseys. And then we got the bus, Jerome Bettis here, and we're getting double bus action here. So with him just insisting he's going to be up on the stand here, we're going to go ahead and make sure he gets his way. And, if we say it, it happens here. Here's Jerome Bettis. Again, we'll get him up on the stand, and let me see if I can find my other stand here. Doesn't look like it, but we are going to give Barry Sanders the spot of honor here, and man, that blue looks fantastic on that card. So I'm going to go ahead and put him up in the spot of honor here. So definitely, again, another fun rip here. These are kind of your base cards where you're like, I don't know really that much about that guy, or not really that interested. Here are the inserts and rookies, and again, we're getting decent inserts, decent rookies, decent just great players from the 90s here that at least are kind of memorable. But I'd say our top hits definitely are going to be these ones here. So we'll start out with our Isaac Bruce rookie, definitely the best rookie we pulled out of this group. Our double Jerome Bettis. I think this one's probably the nicer looking card. He looks really good with that yellow there. And of course, he just stuck with the yellow throughout his career, going to the Steelers as well. So again, that guy was crazy. And then we've got Sterling Sharp on the base card, and then the Barry Sanders on the Pat Summerall's best of the NFL. So another fun rip. We will go ahead and throw these guys back up in their spots of honor, and appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, and we will see you again next time.